EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchich here with your outlook for March 9th, 2022. We have some snow that is working its way into the region this morning, snow and rain, and we're going to identify exactly what we expect today and when. Today's video forecast, Wednesday's video forecast, is sponsored by the Walters and Zirinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate, serving Carbon, Lehigh, Northampton counties in eastern Pennsylvania. If you're wondering about the value of your current home, call Sarah and Mike at any time to get your free real estate market analysis. They use genuine MLS data combined with 20 years of full-time experience to give you an up-to-date and detailed forecast of current real estate values. Reach out to the Walters and Zirinsky team at Keller Williams Real Estate and see for yourself what Sarah and Mike can do for you and find out what sets them apart in the real estate industry. They can be reached at the number right above me here in the video at 610-867-8888, proud sponsors of the Wednesday video forecast. Okay, so snow moving in today, and this is mainly for areas I-78 and north have the best opportunity to see a mostly, if not all, snow event. There will be some mixing south of I-78, we think, in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Once you get south of 78, and then not too far south of that, you're going to see a change to rain as you get down closer to I-76 in Pennsylvania, and then, of course, in southern New Jersey. So we will see a changeover to rain. You might start off this morning in some places with a burst of snow before that goes over. And let's get over to the NAM high-res future simulator radar. And I'm starting this off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Already seeing some precipitation breaking out in our southern regions. See, all this green here is rain. Then you see the blues. Follow the blues to see where the snow is. I'm going to move this forward. You can follow this along with the timestamp right here in the upper right-hand corner of the video. And I'll show you exactly what time we're looking at here. So you might have, you might have some rain or rain-snow mix to start in some places, but as the evaporational cooling takes over, it will actually cool the column enough that any mix changes over to snow in some of these colder areas. So you might start off like maybe 33, 34, 35 degrees. It starts snowing heavy enough, and it lowers the temperature down to freezing so that it changes everything back over from that early mix to snow. And you see that here. Look at it. It goes from this to this, and see how this changes over, and it goes right over to snow. And you get some decent rates here this morning at times as this is lifting off to the north. And I don't think you're getting into the far northern areas. I don't think you're getting into the snow starting here until we get about almost mid-morning, okay? So you're going to start off a lot earlier in the morning, farther to the south. But this is going to be an elevation-dependent snowfall. This is going to be mainly non-paved surfaces until you get into those higher elevations. Not saying you can't get some areas might, in a colder area, colder location, gets a little bit of a slushy mix, at least initially, before the temperatures warm, the sun comes up. I know the sun's behind the clouds, but it still radiates its solar energy through the clouds. And in March, that has a big and profound effect on roadways. So we're not expecting a lot of roadway accumulations until you get up in the higher elevations and temperatures are below freezing. And it's coming down hard. When it's coming down hard enough, it can certainly cover some of those side roads and the sidewalks, untreated surfaces, basically. So for the most of us, it's going to be elevated surfaces and non-paved surface accumulation. So what we're talking about? We're talking about grass. We're talking about fence posts. We're talking about cars. Those kind of trees, tree branches. So those are your non-paved surfaces, elevated surfaces that will have the opportunity to cool faster. And you got to remember, it was just earlier this week. It was in the 70s, so it was Sunday, Monday. So the ground's still pretty warm, okay? And even I know we had some, colder temperatures yesterday, but near average. It wasn't really cold. It seemed cold, comparatively speaking, to Sunday, Monday, but it wasn't really freezing cold. We have marginal event temperatures throughout this event. Most areas are going to be in the from the low 30s up to about maybe mid to upper 30s, and you can see this temperature spread above me. 34 to 40 is a spread from north to south, but the 40s are going to be down here, okay? Now, up in these areas where it's snowing, you'll be about 35, 36 for highs. But, again, it's March, so it's not going to stick as easy. Moving this forward, you get that rain-snow mix getting all the way up to about I-78 in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. And this goes into the afternoon. I think this is going to end at generally mid to late afternoon, maybe even a few leftover flakes early evening before this pulls away. And this is what we have in our snow map. And this is basically showing you what we're dealing with as far as, precipitation. It looks snowing all day. You think we're getting a tremendous amount of snow. There's no doubt that these snow maps that are showing these 4, 5, 6 inch snow amounts, they're not incorrect in that that's going to fall from the clouds, but it's assuming that's all going to stick, and that's not how it works, okay? So we have this large area in gray of a coating to an inch. Then you get up to this blue here, you're 1 to 2 inches. And these are all with the, I know it doesn't say it here in the legend, but it's locally higher amounts are possible as you get into the outskirts. You're away from a metro area. You could possibly get, maybe a little bit over what's listed here. I can tell you right now with almost 100% certainty that this map will not work out exactly for every single area. It just won't. Not in these kind of situations, it won't. We're just to give you the general idea, generally what to expect. There could be some surprises some places. I don't think Philadelphia is getting much here along the I-95 corridor. Once you get down South Jersey, Delaware, probably not. But once you get up in here, you get your coating to an inch, maybe a little bit more than that in a few spots. And then 1 to 2 in the light blue. We have 2 to 3, locally 4 inches in the higher elevations annotated by this blue area. So that's what we have for our projections from this system. Again, it's not going to be 100%. It's going to be close. It's going to give you the general idea. Just remember that going forward today. But again, mostly non-paved surfaces. All right, so let's go beyond this because we have another interesting system coming in here on Saturday. And we touched about this in the last couple of videos, but it's starting to get a little more interesting because now it's Wednesday. But it's still Wednesday, so there's a lot of time for things to change and switch around a little bit. The next system is going to come in on Friday night, late Friday night, and it's going to be after a partly cloudy day on Thursday, and then partly to mostly cloudy on Friday as those clouds increase. And then we are mostly cloudy overnight Friday night, and here's that next system coming in. Now, this whole system here is, and what it does is predicated on the speed of this northern stream trough feature coming in here, which is right here. Here's your big, deep northern stream trough, and how fast this comes in to catch up to this area low pressure as it's moving up the coast will dictate how quickly rain to start will change to snow. And we do think it does change to snow. But this is a critical timing concern here with this because it's just a few hours difference. Makes a difference of some areas maybe getting nothing at all or getting a few inches or maybe getting a lot more than that, okay? Just a few hours. That's all it is. A few hours difference will make a huge difference for some areas, especially in these marginal areas. So here is the European model that is currently the most aggressive with this snow transfer. It does start off as rain, at least in our eastern areas, but look at the interior here. Getting snow. And then right along that baroclinic boundary where the warm air meets the cold air, you have a mix, okay? And then when I say mix, is some sleet and then going over to snow. So you're going from rain to sleet to snow, and then you get windy also on Saturday afternoon as this cold air rushes in. You're going to have some wind gusts, probably over 40 miles per hour again. So if you didn't like the wind gusts we had from the last squall line that we had the other night, this is not going to be a much better situation here as far as wind's concerned. Not a squall line with this, but you're going to have some really cold air rapidly rushing in. So as this low pressure, if it stays offshore like this, you're going to have an opportunity to get more areas involved with this snow changeover. So you could have snow changeovers going all the way to the shore points, possibly, if this were in fact correct. Now, I will caution this is the most aggressive model with that. And just because it changes to snow doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stick, at least not right away. It's going to depend how much precipitation is still around after this precipitation, or after the cold air rushes in to change it over to snow and doesn't have enough time to accumulate. So right now, again, this is the European model that ran today. This is the most aggressive. This is by far the most aggressive it has been, and it is also the most aggressive model that we have currently. Taking a look at the GFS, same situation. Now, the GFS has been bouncing around too. It goes one run, it'll look like it's going trending west and it's warmer, and then next run it's back east again. The latest run here on the GFS this evening came back east again from what his previous run showed. Okay, not as aggressively so as the GFS. You see rain to start, and then it changes over to snow. You get some mixing in between. This is shown very well. I will say that if I'm going to highlight an area right now that has the highest probability, from a probability standpoint only, to see some significant, if not major, accumulations is going to be right in here. And this includes parts of central PA, especially north central PA, and parts of northeast PA. But when I say northeast PA, the probability is going to be better in places like, say, Towanda. When you get into, what's it called? Bradford County, Tioga counties, Sullivan, Wyoming, rather than, say, Carbon and Monroe. Okay, they're all northeast PA counties, but those areas further northwest will have a better opportunity. Doesn't mean you can't end up with that in Carbon Monroe. It's going to depend on that track, okay? And it's a very critical timing issue with this deep trough coming in here and how quickly it does so, okay? And this area low pressure track will be determined by how fast this trough is, okay? A little faster, and this low might be a little bit further offshore instead of here, instead of being there, you know what I mean? So there's a big difference there just by that placement and who changes over and how quickly it does so. But the best chances from a probability standpoint are those areas I mentioned right now. Further southeast, you get fringe areas. You change over here in parts of East Central PA, Northern New Jersey, you might get a couple inches in the back end there too. And it might end up being more than that. Again, if it's offshore, it might be more. But if this ends up being even further west, which is also a possibility, and the track is more like this, well, then you're only looking at back end flakes in these areas that are highest probability and probably nothing further south and east. So it's a fine line. Something we don't have the answers to yet. We know what the synoptic setup is. We just don't know the exact timing and placement of this. If this is any faster, it's going to be a big snowstorm for a lot of areas. What do I mean by big? Potential's there to give you a 6 to 12 inch plus deal out of this. Not impossible. That's kind of the upside of this. It is fast moving, so I don't see something that's going to be producing 2 feet here. But this is a pretty wrapped up system. If it ends up far enough offshore, we could have a large portion of our area, at least in the interior, getting hit pretty hard. So we'll continue to monitor this very closely over the next couple of days. But this is the probably the last gasp of winter, as from a winter weather standpoint. At least I hope it is, because I'm done with this. But this could be the last one. We have this today's system, minor system, and then this one that has a little bit more potential, but it's going to be track dependent to see what happens with that. After this, we turn warmer again. That's going to be not Sunday. Sunday, you're on the deep trough settling in to the region. Saturday night, Sunday, very cold Saturday night, and then Sunday, you're stuck in the 30s in most areas for highs, and then this trough lifts out. Monday and Tuesday back to partly to mostly sunny skies both days, and temperatures getting back up into the 50s again. So, and then after that, I think looking longer range, it looks like we're going to get up to the 60s even further beyond that. So we're running out of time. I think this is our last 2 chances, today and again on Saturday. We'll see what Saturday does, but stay tuned throughout the week and in future updates with these videos, and I'll give you the latest we have at that time for each day. But it's something we're looking at for very good vested interest for Saturday especially. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Marchus. That is your outlook for March 9th, 2022. Have a great Wednesday.